Mental health matters, it's time to raise our voice. Break the stigma, make a choice.
So, hello guys, this is Agnes Moshiri on Radio Kibi, Santiamta, and this is the Wellness Blueprint, our first episode in 2026. And the Wellness Blueprint is basically a health show or a wellness show in general. That means apart from physical health, I focus on mental health, mental well-being, your general well-being. How do you relate with people? How do you relate with yourself? And the main aim or goal of this show is to help especially young people, because I know there's so much that people are figuring out, like right now in our 20s, and yeah, you sometimes just need some words sometimes to keep you going, and you need to hear something and change our way of doing things. And yeah, basically trying to help us navigate this current world in our current generation. And so today I would love to talk about mental health and breaking the stigma. I know mental health is a topic that has been covered worldwide, but it is something that is endless, and it's something that you cannot evade. It's something that at one point in time, you or me and someone else has been through an issue that stressed them, an issue that made them feel sad, feel low self-esteem, something that crushed you at some point. And sometimes most of us don't want to speak about what you're going through, but the thing is, sometimes it's good to know that you're not the only one going through that, and your story actually is a reflection of someone else's, or is something that I need to hear or someone else needs to hear, and they'll know, by the way, actually I'm not all bad, or I just have a reason to keep going. And so mental health, when someone hears that, or when most people hear that, they want to believe that it's related with mental diseases or mental issues, and that's not the thing. It's just the basic stress, the basic worry that we usually have, that leads to depression, that leads to you thinking even without knowing it. But sometimes a change of behavior is what communicates or tells us that, by the way, something is wrong, by the way, something is not okay. And with mental health, it is just that small, like you are outspoken before, you are addressing issues, you are getting someone to talk to, and then you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I mean, I'll figure it out. But the thing you've done there is just covering it up or trying to escape instead of facing it. And at some point, all the issues you're facing will come up and pile and pile and pile. And by the time you're thinking of, by the way, I need help, maybe sometimes it's too late. But the thing is, we all need help. Sometimes you all need someone, an ear to listen to, someone to speak to, someone to remind us, by the way, you are so much more than you think. You're a winner, you're great actually in your own self. Sometimes you need someone to tell you that, someone to remind you that, for you to keep going. And no matter how strong you may think you are, sometimes you might not just be as strong as you think, especially when it comes to mental health issues, because that is something that eats you up from the inside, and it's not something that I can see by just looking at you, unless you speak out, and then you can be helped. So I'm basically urging us today to not take everything just for granted or just lightly, especially when it comes to matters of the mind, because that's basically the server or the system for your mind to function. That's basically where all the operations of the body, of the mind, or whatever you do, actually communications comes from up there. And so I'd urge us to make I'm calling us out to actually look out for ourselves first, and then look out for our friends. Like, when I say look out for yourself, I mean, like, Just take that time, analyze yourself. And by the way, you spending time with yourself allows you to know actually by the way if something is wrong and if actually everything is just fine. Because most of the time when we're with our friends, you don't see it. Like, you are excited, you're caught up in the moment, you're caught up in the stories, and you actually can't realize that by the way something is wrong with me, by the way I'm thinking, by the way I'm stressing about this. You just join in the laughter and the celebration. But the truth is you are suffering, but you don't want to admit it. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that you need help, or admitting that you are going through something, because as I've said, you're not the only one going through that. Trust me, we are just so many in this world, and there's nothing new. Whatever you're going through, someone has been there, and actually they made it through just fine. And that is one of the reasons why you should speak out, one of the reasons why you should tell a friend, look out for a friend, because sometimes most of our happiest, generous, kind friends are the ones who actually are thinking without us knowing. And you're thinking like, that girl, that boy is always cool now actually insist, ask again and again and again, because that actually might just save someone's life out there. I know these are some things that we have had over time, but you can never get enough of this, because it's something that it's endless, and it's something that you cannot ignore, especially in our current society. A lot has evolved, the coming of technology, social media, because that is one of the spaces where the pressure of a good life, pressure to look smart, pressure to like have this nice shape, and people are going for PPL, pressure to look like celebrities, pressure to just get the life that our friends are having right now, because you feel like I'm behind and I am not doing anything with my life, and I'm not achieving, or I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But trust me, there's just a few adjustments, a little self-talk, a little action, and then everything else will be just fine. Everything else will just be okay. And sometimes we just want to take this things lightly. Unapata mtu wako hapo anakwambia like, hey, mimi niko stress and nini, and you're like, wajaribu kujua, as in, have you just tried dying? Because the thing is, a lot of people are tired with their own self, like with whatever they are going through, and trust me, they don't want to handle your stuff. They are not ready to hear from you. They don't want to hear your problems. But I want to urge us and call us out to look out for our friends. Talk to that friend of yours. Don't just assume. And be a listening ear. You'll also get a listening ear. And so mental health is something that we ought to be talking about for ourselves and for others. And with that, I know as a society, or as a nation generally, as a youth people, we will be able to navigate through life despite whatever we have to handle or work through. I know it is difficult and can always be difficult, but in the end, there's always a way out. And so remember, this is the Wellness Blueprint, and I just wanted to do an introductory part for that today. But I know I'll be speaking more and more on the same and many other topics. So if there's anything you feel like you'd love to be addressed, love to be talked about, I know I can actually do that, and I hope it will be of help to each one and every one of us. And so I hope next time we'll be having a guest in the house, so that we can also listen to different experiences of people, and in that way you can always know, by the way, I'm not alone, you're not alone, no one is alone. And so this is the Wellness Blueprint. Hey, ni Radio Kibi, sauti ya mtaa. See you next time.